That was a bumpy ride. Today we're being joined by Mr. Andison
and his lovely apprentice, Mrs. T. So, Mr. Andison, what are we making today?
We're going to make fudge. It's pretty sweet.
Sounds delicious.
So today we're going to be making a chocolate fudge, and you will need
sugar, cocoa, milk, and butter.
For sugar, you'll need 4 cups. You'll need 5 dessert spoons of cocoa, so we have our dessert spoon. We'll have 1 cup of milk, and you'll use butter. You'll need about 130 grams, so we'll use the measurements on the side to try and figure out what 130 grams is.
So we're starting with our dry ingredients. This is the first cup of sugar. Okay, so we've got 4 cups of sugar in the pan, and now we're going to add 5
Dessert
spoons of cocoa. So we'll start with the first one.
You can add 6 if you wanted to make it extra chocolatey.
So we've put our 5 dessert spoons of cocoa powder in with the sugar.
Just quietly, I'd do 6.
Okay, so that's our dry ingredients. Now we're going to add our wet ingredients.
The first thing we're going to put in is what? A cup of
Milk.
milk. So I'll get you to pour in the milk. Dash more. I want to get right up to the top to keep the ratio,
Quite good.
and then pop it in. When it comes to fudge, you need to make sure you're putting in the right amount of butter. You don't want to put in not too much. So we're going to go with about 150 grams of butter, and we're going to use the side of the butter here to find out how to do 150. So we've got 50, 100, 150. So we're going to grab our knife and we're going to cut up to there. So I'm just using it, I'm looking at the line, and I'm seeing about here. Now that's our butter, but we're not just going to chuck it in like that. We're actually going to chop it up into finer pieces so it will melt nicely when we put it in.
So, Mr. Anderson, originally you said 130 grams of butter. Why have we gone to 150?
Because butter adds flavour.
Ah, fat is flavour.
Okay, and now we put it in and we take it to the stove. When it comes to putting the fudge onto the stove, make sure you have an adult at this stage because you'll be working on a hot surface and you could hurt yourself. You'll need to have it on high heat, the element that you want to be using on the stove, but you will not be using it on high heat for the whole time, only until all the butter has been melted in and mixed. And so we hold it when we're on here and start mixing it in. Okay, we need to be making sure that we are mixing constantly so the sugar doesn't get stuck to the bottom and burn. Because burnt fudge doesn't taste as good. When the butter is all melted in, we are going to turn the heat down and leave it boil for about 15 minutes.
But we
do not turn, no, I do not stir it. But we do not turn it down until it starts boiling. So until it starts boiling, we don't turn it down, and then 15 minutes after that. So it's starting to boil, the fudge. We're just going to wait for it to boil a little bit more when it's all very bubbly, and then we are going to reduce the heat and put our timer on for 15 minutes. So now it is fully boiling. We are going to be turning the heat down to about halfway and turn our timer on to 15 minutes. It's hot now. Okay, so I'm going to put this on and I'm going to mix it at 1.
So, do you take it off and mix it straight away when it's still hot?
How do you tell if it's ready to get put back onto the sheet?
Well, it'll be thick in here. So at the moment it looks very watery. But eventually, enough cool air, it will get thicker and you'll be able to tell the difference. See here, it's starting to get thick. I'm going around to see that it's starting to flake on the side. See, it's setting up.
It looks yummy.
And try and scoop as much as you can out. Now it'll take a few minutes to set, but you shouldn't have to do anything after this,
Smells
other than package it.
So we have gotten fudge, and Mr. Andison, do you have to put it in the fridge for it to set?
You don't have to put it in the fridge to set, you can just leave it out. You're going to make sure it's covered so the flies and things don't come up and do the walk all over it, okay? So you need to keep it protected. But so, it takes a bit of time, so you have to be patient. But if you want to, you can put it in the fridge, but you don't have to.
Do you cut it?
You can cut it now.
Sexy.
Okay, so you pass one to Mrs. T,
Oh, that looks amazing. Thank you.
one for you,
Mm.
one for you.
Thank you.
Oh, I bet that one too.
For sure.